Hello and welcome to another episode of the Appelboom Bites Podcast. Today is episode number 90 already. That's a lot of episodes, and we had a lot of fun in the previous 90, 89 episodes. And today we will have a lot of fun as well because this today will be the last episode for now with our amazing co-host, the one and only Clare Coco. Welcome on the show, Clare. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm very sad today. It's my
Yes, me
last
too.
because it's like this is like family, we get to chat a
Yeah.
little bit, and I'm sad that it's my last episode with you for now. For
For
now. I
now,
know.
definitely, you will definitely return. I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
anytime, you know that. Anytime. I love
Yeah,
doing it. And
yeah.
because of you and doing this too, it's like it's helped me in a lot of ways. So I just so thankful and grateful to you. So thank you.
How's your hand doing, Claire?
It's actually doing a little bit better. I'm coming out of this hard thing probably by the weekend. I see that I go to start physical therapy. I started physical therapy, and it's usually 6 weeks from surgery. So she says, we're ready. We'll get you out of this and see how you do in a more softer neoprene. So I have a little bit, it's not as restrictive, but it's, getting to start to do stuff. So yeah,
Step by
so I'm
step.
good. Step
Step
by
by step.
step. Hmm.
Very good, very good. Well, I already see a lot of people in the chat, but before I welcome them, let us welcome our guest here for today because it's a very special guest. It's a dear friend of you, and you specially requested me to invite her on the show because she is your go-to if you have any questions about pens. So she's kind of your encyclopedia. Do I say that correctly?
Yeah, probably like my pen dependent. Pen
Yes,
dependent.
exactly.
Pen, yeah,
So
my
welcome
pen.
on the show, Sue. There she is.
Thank you, Joost, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have you here. We have a lot of questions for you. We're going to have a lot of fun during the show. But before we're going to do that, let us first welcome some people in the chat because we see a lot of people in the chat already. We have here good morning, good morning at Pens Ink and Paper saying hi. It's Scott Hammer.
Hi, Scott.
Welcome. Juicy Louise, hey there from Cornwall as well. We have Found the Pen Fanatic. Hey Scott, it's Dom. Good to see you here. And of course, we have Peter, two of my favorite ladies. You're such a charm, Peter. Wonderful.
Well, Peter's going to take credit, because he says he discovered Sue. He says that all the time. He said, I discovered her. We met, believe it or not, it will be 3 years in September. We met at the Orlando Pen Show.
That's right. That's right.
And you cannot separate us now. We talk every day.
Too.
That's good. It's so interesting for me to be part of this conversation now for the first time. I feel like an intruder, kind of. But we will see. We will see how it goes. We will see how it goes. So we have Joseph Crocker as well. Hello from Joe in Vancouver. And let's see, Lenny is here as well. Good morning, you three. And Juicy Louise is saying, "Don't worry, Claire, I'm not stalking you."
You can stalk. That's fine. I love it.
A little stalker is always good.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we're going to do today is a lot of things. But before we start the show, we always start with the pen check. And Claire, I would like to ask you to start with your final pen check as being the co-host for now.
The pen check.
Well, the pen I'm going to show, you might have heard of this little shop in the Netherlands. They send these wonderful things, stroopwafels, with your package. But what I'm going to talk about, because I just got it in, and I need help picking an ink. So this is the new Pelican M18 blue with the metal stripes. And believe it or not, they said it was a little weighty. I mean, yes, it is a little bit because of the metal stripes, but it's gorgeous. So I just love this pen, and I've been trying to hold it,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm going to ink it very soon so I can at least write with my left hand. So my question to everybody, and if you can leave a comment below, what should I ink this pen with? Okay. It is
a very good question.
I love pelicans. As I have a few of them, so I do love my pelicans. But I just got this in from my little favorite shop in the Netherlands.
But it is a little heavier than the regular Souveräns, right? So
Yes.
people are always asking me like, okay, with what can you compare it? Because it's really hard to say, because it's not really heavy.
No,
but it's just a little.
not. Just a little bit, but I like weighty pens because this feels really good in the hand. It's not, let's put it like this. It's not heavy like a David Oscarson pen.
No, definitely not.
Really, but no, to compare it with, it's not, seriously, I think it's not only a few grams heavier than a regular M800. So M818. So yes, this is what I'm looking at my desk to try to figure out the color. Oh,
Tom is saying the lapis lazuli from Graf and Faber-Castell, a classy ink for a classy pen.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Thank you. Oh, and then
we have here the Takasumi as a recommendation from Leica Man, and we have Juicy Lucy saying I would go for Diamond Zaragoza C or Sapphire Blue. Yes, that's nice.
Peter was saying Sapphire Blue, so I got most of those inks anyway, so I'm gonna go do the ink splatter and put the pen there. So,
see what works best. Sue, what do you think? What would you recommend, Sue?
I mean, blues. She has so many options with blues. I tend to like do something like it has a bit of like a contrast. So maybe I will go like purple, like Yamabudo. It's like such a nice purple color, and I think it will be pretty in there. Or maybe something pink, Momo, by Tasha, or yeah, that would be nice. Purple or pink.
Do you prefer to contrast your pen and ink, Sue, or do you prefer to match them?
So I'm saying contrast, but I usually do like matchy match. It's not my pen,
so that's why you come with the recommendations for Claire to come. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've just seen Peter's currently inked list that he sent me, and there's a lot of blues, so hence why it suggested something other than blues. So
yeah, but those are his pens.
Yeah, but you can't write right now.
I can't write right now. Well, I've been practicing. Yeah. It's not bad. I did last night. I put the pen here.
Oh yes, yes.
It was okay. Anyway, but so
just a couple of more weeks, and then you will be fully functional again with your right hand. No worries, Claire.
That means I got to cook and clean then too.
Exactly. Then it's over. Sue, let's have a look at your pen check. Let's go back to the pen. Sue, sure. Let's have a look at your pen check.
My currently ink is the Nemiki Yokari Chinkin collection, and this is the Sakura or Cherry Blossoms. It's one of my favorite. It's very, very pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Can you hold it a little bit closer to the camera? So sure. I will do some B-roll.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Chinkin is one of my favorite techniques.
Why is that?
It's a very unforgiving technique. So you have to really master your skills to create something like that. Because when your pen is completely finished, and the artist will take a blade-like tool and kind of carves in the design on the pen and then fills it with the gold dust. So if you make a mistake, it's not like paint that you can wipe off. It's really not much you can do to fix it. So you really have to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very interesting because you really cannot make any mistakes with the
Yes.
Chinkin things. So it's very special. Is it the only Chinkin fountain pen that you have, or?
No, I have others. It is one of my favorite techniques. I do have quite a bit of Chinkins in my collection. Yeah.
That's very nice. What ink do you have currently in the pen?
In that one, I have Tasha Benizakura, which is a nice bright red color.
That's a good contrast.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Yes.
it's black, and I didn't want to put black, and I don't put shimmer in my nicer pens. So
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, it's a beautiful pen check.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have. Oh no, sorry. All right. Let's have a look at my pen check quickly, and then we go over to the question from our previous guest. But my pen check, we don't want to forget that because it is. Wait, let me make myself a little bit bigger. It's the new Diplomat XO. This is the lacquered version. There's also the leather version. The leather version we already sold out, but the lacquered version we still have a couple of them available. And what is so interesting about this is that, first of all, it's limited to 265 pieces, but also this giant cap. So I always like it, when brands play around a little bit with their designs, and this is something that Diplomat did. And I think that they did an amazing job on this. It looks like a cigar.
It does.
Like many pens have a cigar-shaped fitting, but this one definitely with the seal over here, and of course with the color. So it's a heavy one. It's a heavy pen, but when you unscrew it to write with it, it's the same weight as any other regular resin pen. So it's perfectly balanced, and it's very nice. It's also a conversation starter. If you grab this out of your pocket, start writing, well, people will ask you questions. So it's a very nice one. I have not inked it up yet, but I'm open for recommendations.
How large is the pen, Joost? Can you
It's
hold
so
it to your hand? Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's a nice size. It's a nice
No, it's a
size.
really good size. Yeah, it's a really good size. So it's a little bit bigger. I don't have any other pen here nearby.
I also like that it doesn't have a clip, so it doesn't take away from, like you said, the cigar shape of the pen.
Mhm.
It would look, if you put it in your pocket, right, and sticks out, people are going to think you got a cigar tube in your pocket. Serious. I mean, it's really cool. I think it is like nice. It. I like pens that tell a little bit of a story or make conversational pieces.
Yes, unusual pens.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm beginning to like some of the Diplomats that I have one right now, and I'm would like to get more. So that's I like that one. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's also completely different as what they did. Like they have more, like for example, the arrow. It's a really modern design, right? And this is more classical shape. So of course they have the Excellence A as well, which is also more classical design. But the arrow and how they present themselves in the market, it's way more modern than what this piece is. So it's really funny to have this. I saw it first time at the Frankfurt Messe at the beginning of this year, and it was really like, wow, I need to have a lot of these because people will jump on this like crazy. And that's exactly what happened because, well, the leather one is already sold out and we only have a few pieces left for the lacquered one. So it's a big success so far.
The leather one, yes.
The leather the color of the leather one was brownish, a little bit brownish, and this is more like a burgundy lacquer. I don't know if the light picks it up.
Is beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's super nice.
Could always put in the Mont Blanc Purdy and Sons tobacco ink.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is.
I like that. All right. Let's start this podcast because Sue, I have a question for you from our previous guest. But before I do that, I will say I have to say hi to Clarissa. She's here. Good morning, Joost, Claire, and Sue. What a special day to have two of my favorite pen sisters here.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Clarissa.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Wonderful to have you. So, Sue, the question for you, it comes from David Oscarson. He was a guest on our show last week. It was a really interesting episode. We learned, or at least I learned a lot about David Oscarson. Claire already knows a lot about it because, well, she has like his entire collection. But for me, it was pretty new. And it's there is a question here for you, Sue, and it has something to do with David Oscarson, because his question for you is, what design of David Oscarson is your favorite?
My favorite David Oscarson. Well, I shouldn't say my favorite. I have many favorite David Oscarsons, but the one that I chose to purchase, and I think he's right about you have to have a connection with a pen to really get one of his pens, and that was very true in my case. I got the Harvest in the saffron color.
Mhm.
And this is an absolutely gorgeous piece.
That's wonderful.
And I got it in memory of my uncle who passed away last year. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. So I have something
It's a
to
beautiful
always
one.
remember him by.
Exactly. It's are there like 2 or 3 colors in the pen? I think I missed that.
It is. So there has the kind of like a pearly white on the wheat, and then it has a
Mhm.
saffron color on the background. So 2 colors.
Wow.
With the gold and with the gold running through it as the stems. Really pretty.
Well, I've learned now last week how interesting that process is with all the colors to enable that. So it's like you have to go in and out, in and out, in and out. In every color, it makes it more complicated. So it's yeah,
So
that's all what I learned last week.
before I got into David's pens, I collected Michel Prachon pens, which are also lacquered. So some of the earlier ones that were produced under the Fabergé name are some of my favorite ones. So they did some coronation ones in the like a soft baby blue and a gold yellow. They were kind of like a pair sister pen. So same type of Fabergé egg lacquer that you put in a kilt, and really bring out these beautiful vibrant colors of the glass on top of the guilloche. So seeing David take it to the next step on his pens are really exciting, because his designs, every time you see it, is so far from the previous one. Is like the thoughts that goes into like designing these pens. I just want to be a fly in the wall when he's coming up with the next design to see like how does the creative mind work, right?
Yeah, he was I was in DC, I'm sorry, at the Baltimore Pen Show. He was told me a little bit about the Spirit of St. Louis that was coming out, and to actually because he didn't have the pen there yet, but he had a picture of it, and he was just telling me about it a little bit. I was kind of, not to say anything, I had to be sworn on the secret, right? I was like, I'm not saying nothing, right? Now I can. But those flags that he talked about on the way they had to do it, it's just unbelievable. The thought process, or how to get something done with the glass, with the kiln. And he's like he says, if it cracks or breaks, you got to start all over again.
Yes.
That was
it's the same with the Shinkin pens, of course. Like you cannot make any mistakes.
Yeah. If you want a beautiful piece at the end, you have to make sure your process is error proof, no mistakes allowed. So it just really is a testament to the mastery of these craftsmen, right? They really know what they're doing. Their hands have a memory of what needs to happen, and it's just amazing to see it come to life in the final piece that you're able to add to your collection. And that's the special thing that kind of excites me about adding a new pen into my collection.
I can see that. Again, I can understand that. It comes to my next question. What are you looking for in a pen?
So it's like a couple of different categories. So I'm not a one brand or one type of pen collector. My collection varies a lot. I do have to say it's heavier on a maki-e Japanese pens, but it varies. I have a very diverse set of pens in my collection. So I would say aesthetic, is really important. Like it has to grab my eye at the first thing. So that is really important to me. Something that looks beautiful. But on the other side, the engineering that goes into a pen is also fascinating. So really interesting or unique, rare filling systems kind of intrigue me. I like to have something that is, odd, that is not in every pen, right? Something quite extraordinary about like how the maker came up with the design to fill their pen. The other thing is like function. So I do also have a lot of pens that are just plain old good writing instruments that day in and day out, I can rely on them performing to the best of like what's out there in the market. So that also is really important to me. So those three things are usually like what makes the bulk of my collection, other than things that like I've received as gifts throughout the years from family that like will remain forever in my collection.
Gifted pens don't count. They are like just extra. You don't have to count them. It's
Correct.
It's yeah. Yes. We don't count them. All right. Peter has a really good question because he's saying, Sue, you mentioned chinkin. Are there other Japanese art forms and techniques that are used to enhance pens, and your personal opinion on each?
There are many different Japanese techniques that you can have when you're talking about the maki-e or urushi. For a pen, most of the time when you see urushi or maki-e, it's you don't see it on pens. It's on like housewares, wall decoration, furniture pieces. So they have a bigger surface to create their art. But when you're thinking about pens, same techniques will apply. So like urushi techniques, I do like shuganari, which they put in the seeds. Usually rape seeds, they put it on the lacquer, and then they apply layers after layers of lacquer. Then they knock out the seeds, and you get these indentations, which then you can either fill with lacquer, you can put a rod in, which is an abalone shell, or mother of pearl, or you can put in rankaku, which is the quail eggs in there, and then you finish applying the lacquer. The most important thing with the maki-e is that last step of finishing the pen, polishing it with your fingertips, right? Like hours of love that goes into creating a Japanese lacquered pen. So, and you get that chatoyance depth of the layers of the lacquer. So that's gorgeous. You can, some of my favorite maki-e techniques, the raised maki-e or the taka maki-e, like that's like shows the mastery of spending like hours and hours, like months producing one single pen, building that design so it's raised and it'll really create that 3D feel to a pen. Like, how amazing is that? You can actually like feel the texture of the figures or the flowers or whatever it is in the design. You can actually like feel it on your, under your fingertips. I mean, I feel like blessed to be able to acquire some of those pieces. So, yeah, and like, I'll show you. So look at this piece. So you can see the mother of pearl in the dragonfly wings. Here is like, you can see the rays maki on the lotus petals, all that gold dust. I mean, it's absolutely a beautiful piece of art, and it gives me joy just to look at it. So
that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah, there's so many things going on that pen. You keep looking at it.
Yeah, it's and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person must be so patient creating this pen. I would have totally lost my mind.
Yeah. No, it's definitely true that the Japanese artists can do amazing work on pens. There are a couple of brands that currently offer these kind of arts on their pens. Now comes the question: which brand is the best?
So I don't know
in doing this. So like really like this Japanese art on their pens.
For sure. So there are of course brands that have done this for years and years. I mean, let's look at Pilot, Namiki. Like they've celebrated like over hundreds years of creating beautiful masterpieces. They know what they're doing, obviously. Sailor, Platinum, Denny Trio. There are so many beautiful, renowned brands from Japan that does. Now, the one thing that is really exciting is seeing some of the independent artists that bringing their work and artistry to the market. And with the way the world is working now, we have access to acquiring their work, which is really exciting to see. You had a guest a few weeks ago. Michael was from Tamanuri Studio. I have some of his pen. I think I bought the first rod and strip ones that he created, which was really beautiful. The fact that now I have access to some of the independent maki-e and urushi artists. That's also exciting. Although in my heart, I still tend to like to buy from Namiki. I like to buy from Sailor, Platinum, Tasha, where I can, if tomorrow something happens, I can pick up the phone and say, hey, help, I dropped my pen. Can you repair it? Yeah.
Don't do that.
No. I love my, they get more care than anybody else. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what Clarissa's saying as well. I love listening to Sue's answers, explanations in detail. This really shows her passion and expertise of this pen hobby.
Thank you, Clarissa.
And Scott is saying, this is such great information. Thanks, Sue. I love you. So there's some love Scott here in the comments as well. Really appreciate that.
That's how I met
what I wanted to know is how did you met Sue? No, we come to that later on. First, I want to throw this question on Sue because we're in this field now. Okay, Sue, you mentioned a couple of brands that already doing it, like already offering all these beautiful maki-e urushi techniques. But let's say if you can have like one brand that doesn't do it yet, on what pen or what brand would you like to see some Japanese art?
Hmm. You know what? One of my favorite pens of all time, which is no longer made, which I don't understand why it's not made. It's Waterman Edson, right? When I see an
Yeah.
Edson, I buy an Edson. When I see it, I buy it.
Mhm.
I would love to send some of my plain Jane Edsons to get maki-e, although it will be challenging because most of them have a metal
Yeah, the
cap,
metal.
so it adds a little bit of a challenge. But you can actually maki-e the metal cap as well. So not going to be a problem, just a little bit more challenged for the artist to do it. So maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like that. It's so sad, by the way, that the Edson is no longer made. It's
Isn't it
really,
gorgeous? That
yeah,
inlay of the inlay of the nib is like beautiful. Like, look at this. Such a
That's gorgeous.
statement
That was a
piece.
gorgeous one. I haven't seen that one.
This is the 125th year anniversary.
That's
It
gorgeous.
was a more exclusive number than the Boucheron that they did with the jeweler. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I love too. I love that inlay nib, but why can't Waterman bring it back? Maybe bring it back.
Hey, it'll make my buying a lot easier.
Bring it back. Bring it back. That
it would be wonderful if they can bring that back. We'll talk later about a pen that is finally coming back. Also, people asked a lot about that. But first, we're going to start listening to the story about Claire meeting Sue.
Well, we were at the Orlando Pen Show, and Sue was at the top table, and Peter was sitting there and looking at all the pens and stuff, and I come over as well, and that's how we first met her. Her knowledge on all the pens were like, I thought she actually worked for Tasha. I thought she, Peter's like, oh, this is Sue from Tasha, and I'm sorry, she does not work for Tasha. She's a collector who, like many of us, will go to the pen shows and help a brand that we love their what they're selling. And I was like floored because of her knowledge and everything. I learned so much, and now I have a few of them. And every time I go, and I happen to, it's just amazing. Every question that Peter asked about the pen or the way it was made or anything, it's like no hesitation, boom, boom, boom. And I was just like, your knowledge is, and then we go off on other brands sometimes, like some of the vintage ones, or like, again, the Edson. She got me to buy a couple of the Edsons, and because it's like, well, what do you think about this one? Now I don't like buying a pen without asking Sue, well, what do you think about this brand first? Because she'll say why it will work and why it won't work for me. Because she knows what she knows what I like, and so we talk about that all the time. But that was basically how we met, and really, I was like,
what is her response for the last 5 weeks that is not working for you because you cannot write with your right hand, or is that like?
No, like I still call her. Like I said, well, what do you think? What do you think? Because okay, so Edsons are not made anymore, right? So then you go into the market of what's a good price. What price point should they? A good price to buy or look for within this range, because some ranges some want more than what the market will bear. There's a finite point where cost of pens, vintage or whatever, and you kind of you want to get something of good value. So
also you want to get it from a
Reputable.
person that you trust, right? A reputable dealer. If you're buying pre-owned, make sure you're buying from a reputable dealer, because you want to make sure it's not tampered with, in a good condition, because they do their due diligence, right? They make sure because their name is behind it, right? They want to make sure what comes to your collection is in a functioning, well-performing condition, so you can rest assured you're getting a nice piece added to your collection. So sometimes when Claire and I are looking at something, or we have similar taste in pens, that's very helpful. So like if she asked me about a pen, I would know, like, would she like it, or like these are the things that are kind of drawbacks for me, so I share that, so she may still love it because of how it looks and purchase it, but at least as a friend, I have disclosed my
You did your
experience with
duty.
the
You
piece.
did your duty, like
That's
giving
right.
all the
And
feedback
I
on
do
it.
that with like my friend Clarissa or my friend Scott. Other friends, that in my close circle of pen collectors. So we always like talk about things like this when it comes to, especially if it's like a bigger purchase, like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm considering this. Do you have it? Any issues? What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? Because I feel like knowing all of those things would make you feel more comfortable getting something that you're not, maybe it's a new brand or a new brand to you. It's very helpful.
Exactly, like our first Tashas. Now we have a few of them, and learning just more about the the urushi, the maki-e, the chinkin, which I don't have. I don't have a chinkin yet, so next time.
Highlight also makes beautiful chinkin. I mean, I
I
just
know,
heard you.
I know. So
And I was going through Appelboom's site, and they have a lot of them in stock. And I know how fast shipping is from, and it comes with treats.
Yes, don't forget they come with the scoop waffles. They sit here on my
Right.
desk.
Claire, honestly, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in you
Why?
that you still have them, because you didn't eat them yet.
No, you know what? I copy you. I ended up buying a case.
That's right. I just got some ink, and I had sent a pen for Claire to try out, because she's considering a maker friend of ours to make a pen, design and make a pen for her. So I sent her my pen so she can kind of see in person how it is. So she shipped that back to me. And I also got some waffles from her.
So you're like, wow, is this package from Appelboom or
I know, right?
what's happening?
Confusion.
It's very
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Well, in the summertime, you can't do chocolates. It's coming from Florida. They'll melt by the time you get it. These scoop waffles are safe.
Yeah, and they're very nice if they're a little bit warmer than the
Yes.
caramel
The gooey
inside.
caramel is perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
exactly.
I love it.
We already discussed the pre-owned pens a little bit. We also offering now some pre-owned pens since a couple of years now. I think 3 or 4 years, something like that. And it's quite funny because, well, what you talked about before is that people really now know how to find us. So people are we're getting more and more applications of selling off collections. People are getting tired of the collection, or they want to go into a different hobby or things like that, but they don't want to go into all that selling, so they just send everything to us, and we sell it on our website. But it's I wanted to ask you, so like, what is really important to look for when you are buying pre-owned pens?
So good question. talk to your friends, talk to your circle. If it's a pen that they have, see if you could try it out, especially if you are buying from a retailer that is not local to you, that you can kind of walk. I'm sure people around you feel very privileged that they can walk into the store and try out the pen, really experience it firsthand. But if you're like me and don't have a local pen shop close by, then check with friends and see if you can try it out.
So you are the pen shop.
That's right. That's right. I do lend my pens to friends to try out. I feel like it's part of the enabling.
So you really have to be careful with making statements like that, because your inbox will be like, "Hey, can I be your friend? Can I be your friend?" You know, if you make statements like that, it's really dangerous.
But I feel like it enriches your life knowing people from this community. Everybody is so nice with their time, with their knowledge. I mean, I was, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, I was a new, brand new collector, just getting started. And I had people that kind of mentored me and kind of showed me around. Am I being taken advantage of, or is this a real good deal? What to look for, if you're buying a pen, be careful. So it's an authentic piece versus something that could potentially, you're wasting your money on. Paying attention to the wear on the piece. If it's something you want to just use for like everyday carry, toss in your bag, of course, those micro scratches may not matter to you. But if it's a piece that you really want in pristine condition, then those things matter a great deal to you. There's been time that I have purchased something because I just must have it, and then continue to look and replace it with a nicer, cleaner piece when that opportunity arises. So all of those.
Did you ever had a horror story when buying pre-owned pens, like that you?
Yes. So
do you mind sharing that, or is it like really too much horror to share?
No, it's not too much horror. Most people know me and they treat me really well. I feel very blessed in this community. I feel like most people that know me, they also know what I collect. So like Claire's been at the show with me, with somebody comes over and says, "I think you would want this." And it is absolutely something that I would want. So they'll take my money and I'm happy and they're happy. So that piece is like perfect, because now they, like, most people know what I'm interested in and what I'm looking for, which is perfect because they come to me most of the time rather than me hunting something down. Also friends, they know like what type of things I'm looking for. For example, Scott, he was purchasing a couple of things from a person that was selling a collection. So he knew my interests. So he's like, "Hey, a friend is selling things. I'll put you in touch." Worked out perfectly. So those type of things are very helpful when you're buying pre-owned, buying from people that you know or are highly recommended by other people that you know, because then if anything happens, you have a reputable person behind the piece that you have acquired, that they will make it right for you if something bad happened. But to your point of a horror story, I purchased a vintage safety pen. So safety pens are the retractable nibs, where you usually have a knob at the end of the pen that you twist and that you would push out the nib. The vintage one usually have a helix inside. It's an ebonite made helix. So the one that I had purchased, everything was intact. However, the seal was bad. So there is a cork seal at the end that kind of keeps it airtight. That way it won't leak.
Yeah.
So that had gone bad because it was obviously like over 100 years old. Things, cork, of course, disintegrates. So I took it to somebody to fix it for me. And they are a very reputable person. Like they're well known in the community as like a master in repairing pens. When they were trying to remove the helix, they cracked the helix inside. So they managed to glue it, but then to me in my head, it was
it's not the same anymore.
It's not the pristine piece that I bought. So they fixed it. And I was talking to a friend, and we're like, "Oh, I would love to have it." So I gifted it to them because it has a super flexible nib. It had a super flexible nib. So they love it, and they do calligraphy with it, which I don't do. So I think it's in a good home now. Yeah.
Oh, that's important as well.
Yes.
You already mentioned vintage a little bit. There's now a new product that I need to announce.
New product.
Which has a little bit to do with vintage, because it is the new Shaver Legacy. It's a reintroduction of the vintage Shaver Legacy, which was in the collection for quite a long time. I don't have the pen here at this moment. We just got the information and we put it on our website. And I know that a lot of people are really happy with the comeback of the Shaver Legacy because, well, the legacy is a legacy. So, people just love that. And especially that inlaid nib is very special. I talked with Shaver during the Frankfurt Messe earlier this year, and they showed me that piece. And they explained to me that they will first introduce it with a stainless steel nib. The nib width will be between a fine and a medium, so it's not really a fine or a medium. It will be in between a fine and a medium. And it was really interesting for me to learn that it has a stainless steel nib on it to make it more affordable. Because the gold price nowadays is pretty high. So to avoid having a really high price tag on there, they put a stainless steel nib on it. And I think it was quite an interesting view on the Shaver Legacy because, of course, the Shaver Legacy was the top level pen of Shaver. And with the stainless steel nib, it makes it more affordable in this way. And I'm really happy with that. So I wanted to know from you, Sue, what is your view on the Shaver Legacy? Of course, like the vintage Shaver Legacy, which you know, of course. And what did you think about it?
I just told you I'm a sucker for those inlaid nibs. So I'm like, I know you said they're first introducing it with a stainless steel. Do you know if they're planning on gold options as well?
Maybe I told a little bit too much, but I was pushing you very much to get
maybe
that
an exclusive
gold
for
nib on there as
Appelboom
well.
with gold nib.
Yeah, something like that.
I will be the first buyer.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell this, but they're also working on a reintroduction of another model, and they will do a gold nib on that. So hopefully we can kind of, I don't know. But a gold nib on the Legacy would have been great as well. But they first wanted to start with a stainless steel nib to do some quantities, I think.
Yeah, I think the Shaver Legacy with the gold nib, I mean, that's what, like, with the vintage ones, that's what it was very special about them. The inlaid nib was, of course, really beautiful. It made them look really like an outstanding piece. So I look forward to seeing how they the reborn Legacy is going to look like. So have to go and check it out on your website.
Yeah. Juicy Lucy is saying the old Shaver nibs are wonderful, especially the oblique ones. There's also something that I pointed out to them, like, hey, it's all fun that you're coming out with a Legacy, but we want to see more nib options as well. So that was also something that they will consider, and especially in the future, Shaver is building up again from scratch. So step by step, they are making moves to the top again. But a lot of nib options is one of these things that we all want, of course, right?
It would be nice to see a successful comeback, like a true successful comeback from a vintage brand that has been loved by so many throughout the. I mean, it's a brand that everybody knows, like Schaefer, like everybody knows Schaefer. So it would be really nice to see a true comeback of a model that is, it's known and loved by so many people.
Yeah. No, I think that Shaver is doing a great job for now, and also the philosophy behind it.
I love
So
that.
they're really slowly bringing back each model, like step by step. They started from the bottom and they're working to the top. And indeed, the Targa is also one of those models that we would love to see to come back. But yeah, it's
Such a
something.
nice model.
It's something that Schaefer has to consider. Another pen that I need to talk about is a new launch of Montegrappa. And as you might know, Montegrappa always have some crazy pens out there. And their latest release is the Casanova. It's for the 300th anniversary of Giacomo Casanova. And it's truly is a masterpiece of craftsmanship. And I don't know, have you seen this pen, Claire, on our website yet?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, so on the barrel there's this little window that you can open. There's like a hidden discretion door, and I will literally read what it's saying here. On the barrel, it reveals a playful scene where Casanova himself sharing wisdom with two young students. The secret detail nods to the tradition of curiosa antiques, blending sophistication with seductive allure. So you have to look it out. It's very nice. It's very, very well done by Montegrappa. They're so good in making these kind of little twists, and it's they just did an amazing job on this as well. So those are the two new pens on our website right now: the Schaefer Legacy and the Montegrappa Casanova. Claire, do you have a question for Sue that we can discuss?
What pen that you do not have that you're in search for?
So this is the AP Classic pen that I think I've showed you. It's one of my favorite maki-e pens because every flower is like different and hand painted. So it's just I love it so much. But they also have one with poppies and chinkin flowers. So the top and the bottom is like maki-e with like a red flowers. The top is like all like chinkin gold filled. So that's the one that I've been looking for, but at a reasonable
price. So you're on
as
the
reasonable
hunt.
as these pens are, right?
Right. Because
Everything has to come together in the right
That's right.
positions.
The right package, right?
Yeah, because we were talking with another friend via text, and he's very close to getting a pen that he's wanted for a very long time. And when collecting pens, and they will, especially I'm looking now because I've gotten more knowledgeable, it's like the hunt. But you have to make sure it's right, the condition is good, right price, and it's like I'm gonna go buy this. They have it, but then you look at it and you're like, nope, it's just not right. There could be some marks on it, and the condition, the pricing. I'm like, so that's why I wanted to know what's next. What are you on the hunt for? So that
and I mean, I usually don't see those at like a pen shows, but you never know. Like sometimes like you attend a pen show and like you're blown away and surprised by a piece that like oh, I wasn't expecting to spend all of my money on like a first thing I saw, but here it goes.
There it is. I can go home now.
Well,
the show is still 3 days long, but I can go home.
It's just not the pens though, because sometimes we're on the hunt for certain inks because some of the inks you can't find anymore, and then and some of the prices like corn poppy red.
I did find you one.
You did.
Find you one.
At a really, at a great price. But there was somebody else at the show that had a bottle that wanted, 3 times what, the cost of it was when it originally came out. And I'm like, I don't want it that bad. I don't want it that bad. But yeah, so it's like, I use that as an example. So DC and San Francisco, I mean, even some of the smaller shows, but DC and San Francisco, sometimes you can find more of the ones that are no longer available, so.
If you're not overwhelmed with how much is there.
Right.
You can find.
Okay, Sue and Claire, what happens? So you both like your pen friends, right? Your friends. You have the same taste in pens. What happens if there's only one pen left and you both want that pen? How do you guys figure that out?
Well, whoever sees it first. but in all honesty, Sue was like, well, if you really want it, Claire. No, you saw it first. So we have.
You're not doing any rock, paper, scissors here?
That's a good idea, Joost. I'm going to do that next time.
Next time.
I bet I win.
We'll flip a coin for it, heads or tails.
That's too much chance.
No.
Lenny is wondering what is happening with Montegrappa. So are they still working with dealers in Europe? The Montegrappa dealership with Kenro Industries or wholesale with Kenro, yeah. In the US, they no longer work together, but luckily we work together with Montegrappa directly. We are even invited on an amazing event in 2 weeks. It's like a James Bond kind of party in Bazzano da Gra. Or actually, it's next week. No, not the upcoming weekend, but the weekend after. So we have a really good relationship with Montegrappa. But I know that they are working with like lesser dealers and make their brand more exclusive. As you can also see in their offerings lately, like they are launching a lot of pens, like which are a little bit more expensive and not for every retail store. So that's, I think, a new strategy of them, and it's something new.
Well, I heard that they wanted to deal directly more with the retailers. I guess that's.
We're also working directly with them. So
right, that's what I heard here. And that, well, when I asked about the state, they said that they're going to work more directly with. Their hopes are to do what you just said. So work directly more with the retailer. So. Yeah.
No, it's very interesting. We have a lot of customers in the US, of course, also for Montegrappa. So we know there is a lot of people in the US who are interested in Montegrappa. So the brand is still alive.
I'd rather go to, I always shop on Appelboom, so.
Yeah, that's dangerous. All right, we're almost here at the end of the show, Sue, and I want to have a question from you for our next guest. So what question can we ask our next guest?
Is your next guest a manufacturer or a pen maker or a collector?
He's not going to tell you.
So maybe I'll ask 2 questions and you give the right question to the right person. If they are a pen maker or a manufacturer, I would be very interested to know what got them passionate about starting with making or manufacturing pens. If it wasn't like a family business that my dad did it, so I do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would be really interested to know like what's the passion behind the work that they do? How did they get started? If they're a pen collector, from like the hundreds and thousands of pens that they may have in their collections, I don't know how big of a collector they are. What's the most interesting filling system that they have?
Oh, that's a good one. From all the pens in your collection, what is the most interesting filling system? Nice, good questions. Yeah, well, we will figure it out who's going to be the guest next week.
Okay.
And you will discover it there. I'm not going to reveal anything because we will also have a new co-host, and I'm also not discovering or how do you say it, revealing that. So yeah, you just have to tune in next week and see what's happening. Sue, I would really like to thank you for being the guest here on the show. We had a lot of time. Time flew by. It was over before we knew it. Hopefully, I see you in DC at the DC Pen Show.
Absolutely. I make sure I stop by and say hello.
Definitely.
She'll be a Tasha. She'll be a Tasha.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's good. That's good.
And I'll be with Leonardo. So we're going to be separated this time because sometimes I work with Tasha, but this time we're going to well, actually, last year we're like right behind each other, so I hope that happens.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was nice.
Clarissa's voting to bring back Sue as a co-host in the future. So maybe, who knows? Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For the last couple of weeks. Lenny will miss you a lot, as I do. And well, Peter is really lucky because, well, he can see you every day.
Oh yeah.
So he's very lucky. But I'm sure, Claire, we will see each other often enough, and we will see each other in DC for sure.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed these last 5 weeks. They flew. They kind of helped with my boredom. And I can't wait to. Well, we get to see you in DC in a month.
Yes.
A little over a month. Not too bad. Yeah, just a little. I think it's
6 weeks.
Yeah, so that'll be great. We've already booked our plane flights and everything. I'm all excited.
Yes, very excited.
Yeah, I still have to do that, but no kidding. No, we're all set and we're all happy to go. I just confirmed the London Pen Show as well in autumn. So that's in October 11th and 12th. So yeah, I just booked that show as well. I was like, yeah, why not? So
why not? It will be fun to see you in DC. So anyway,
very excited to see you, Joost.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to have fun there as well. Everybody that was watching, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to do that right now. Also, make sure to head over to Claire, her YouTube channel, and subscribe there as well. Sue, do you also have a YouTube channel?
I don't, but you can check out my Instagram, Susie B.
Exactly. There you can find Sue and follow all her pen stories. Guys, I see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.